CNBC आवाज पर लगातार हम अपनी स्पेशल कवरेज कर रहे हैं इंटरिम बजट को लेकर और अब हमारी कवरेज में हमारे साथ जुड़ गई हैं वैशाली निगम सिन्हा जो कि को फाउंडर है ReNew की। मैम, सबसे पहले तो आपको ओवरऑल कमेंट जानना चाहेंगे कि आप इस इंटरिम बजट को किस तरह से देखती हैं। व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन दिस?
I was first of all, thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm pleasantly happy with the budget. I was expecting to be a good vote on account. I think none of us were expecting a lot of populism, and that's what it was. I think it was really a presentation. It was like a stock take, as we have in the COP, of the achievements of this government over the last decade. And the achievements of this government have not been, have been pretty significant. And whether you talk about the, India becoming the fastest growing economy, with our target of 4 trillion to be achieved by this fiscal year, for us to be on track to achieve our fiscal deficit sort of consolidation around that at 4.6 in fiscal year 26, our inflation which has remained in band, all of this is good. It shows that there has been sharp management. It shows that there has been a vision. I think with respect to Viksit Bharat, I think it was very clearly articulated, the vision of the Prime Minister to build an India which is modern, which is inclusive, which is sustainable, and prioritizes innovation. So I think all in all, there is vision. And there is the discipline which is required in any budget, whether it is the government or it is our household, for us to be able to do good. So
फिजिकल डेफिसिट मुझे लगता है एक हाईलाइट रही कि 5.1% का अब लक्ष्य रखा गया है। कितना फिजिबल आपको लगता है, और अगर हम इसके नजदीक पहुंचते हैं या इसको अचीव कर लेते हैं तो ओवरऑल स्पेंडिंग की बात करें, केपेक्स की बात करें, तो वो कितना इम्प्रूव होता हुआ दिखाई देगा?
देखिए, कैपेक्स का ये है कि वी हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट our government spend in the capex has been pretty incredible. They've spent well. I think what we need to do is to get the private sector more involved, so that together we can have public spending and private spending to be able to grow at the rate at which we want to grow, to be able to build and reach our targets of $5 trillion economy, which we are all working towards, right? So I think for that, one way in which we haven't seen enough of private sector engagement, it can be a lot more. I think that will happen if we can have the small and medium enterprise also be incentivized to invest. I feel that PLI schemes, there was an announcement on that, in labor intensive sectors, manufacturing sectors, will ensure that we can get the small medium enterprises engaged as well, which will lead to the contribution of greater investment by the private sector. I think all of these things put together will be important for the growth and for some of the economic targets we need to adhere to.
ओके मैम, आप इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछना चाहेंगे। रिन्यूएबल पर सरकार लगातार फोकस कर रही है और इस इंटरिम बजट में भी 2-3 बड़े अनाउंसमेंट हुए हैं। खासतौर पर अगर हम रूफटॉप सोलर पैनल की बात करें तो 1 करोड़ घरों में लगाया जाएगा। इससे ऑब्वियसली बचत होगी, मुफ्त में बिजली भी 300 यूनिट तक मिलेगी, और साथ ही साथ एक अनाउंसमेंट किया गया है कि 1 गीगावाट ऑफशोर विंड एनर्जी के लिए भी वायबिलिटी गैप फंडिंग सरकार की तरफ से दी जाएगी। तो ये जो 2 बड़े अनाउंसमेंट है स्पेसिफिकली रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सेक्टर में, आप इसे कैसे देखते हैं? व्हाट इज योर कमेंट ऑन दिस?
ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण अनाउंसमेंट्स हैं, और जैसे कि मैंने कहा, ये एक इंटरिम बजट है, तो इतनी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि बहुत जबरदस्त महत्वपूर्ण अनाउंसमेंट्स हो, और होने भी नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि कुछ महीनों में एक और बजट प्रेजेंट होगा। ये बात काफी क्लियर थी कि यही सरकार हमारे बजट को प्रेजेंट करेंगी। उससे कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि जो बोला जा रहा है उसमें इट इज एन इंटरिम कमेंट्री वेयर वी विल सी मोर कमिंग later on. I think as far as green is concerned, as I was saying in the beginning, that we have seen a lot of commitment, we've seen action, we have seen structure, structural reforms, incentives being given to the sector to grow at a very rapid pace. And the offshore wind for India has been an expensive area. I think kickstarting it will be important. Also rooftop, I feel that a lot of policies have enabled entrepreneurs like us to get involved, private sector to get involved. We see a lot of international funds coming to India to invest in our sector. All that's great. But what's going to really move the needle, and what I'd also like to see, is how Indians get involved in adapting and renewables. So this rooftop installation for the poorest in our country will be a very powerful way. And I think the headline announcement which it came under was Muft Bijli will incentivize people, make it attractive, put it on the radar screen. नहीं तो लोगों को, especially उस वर्ग में लोगों को समझ नहीं आता है कि मैं ये क्यों करूं, कैसे करूं.
In fact, in the middle segment also, people are not much aware कि भैया rooftop solar लगाएंगे क्या बचत होगी, क्योंकि उनको लगता है कि अभी जो इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो कहीं ना कहीं ज्यादा है.
राइट. सो इस तरीके के जो स्कीम्स हैं, थोड़ा सा एक जो कुछ मिथ है अराउंड दिस, थोड़े जो एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम्स भी हैं, जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं ऑन इंस्टॉलेशन, ऑन मेंटेनेंस एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ, इसको एड्रेस भी करेंगे. उससे और जरूरी बात है कि आईसी की बहुत सारा एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के अपॉर्चुनिटीज होंगे इसको लगाने के लिए. तो इट विल इन्वॉल्व द लोकल पीपल टू गेट एम्प्लॉयड एज वेल, स्पेशली women and youth, because we've been seeing that women, especially in this energy security area, have got quite involved and can do well, and then can make good money for youth also. So I think it's going to also not only help people get engaged sustainability per the life mission which the Prime Minister launched, but also provide employment. And I find that is the good thing, that this government has been able to sort of in the maze connect the dots, so that incentives lead to growth, lead to employment. In providing the research, R&D is going to be great for our sector, because ours is a very new sector. As you said कि लोगों को इतनी जानकारी नहीं है कि क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे कर रहे हैं, बैटरी के कॉस्ट कैसे नीचे लाएं, हमारे देश में बैटरी के क्या USPs हैं उसको यूज करने के. So all of those things through R&D we have been using at ReNew. A lot of effort has been put in R&D. We have a center of excellence at IIT Delhi, and also some global centers of excellence to bring together research to be able to contribute to our nation's green transformational journey.
Okay, ma'am, आपकी कंपनी स्पेसिफिक बात करना चाहें तो एक जो मंत्रालय है वहां पर काफी एग्रेसिवली इंस्टॉलेशन हो रहा है, वो है रेलवे का. हम देख रहे हैं रेलवे स्टेशनों पर अब प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हो चुके हैं रूफटॉप सोलर लगाने के. इसके अलावा ये भी प्लान है कि जो रेलवे ट्रैक के आसपास खाली जमीन है वहां पर भी इंस्टॉलेशन शुरू किया जाएगा. तो कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको दिखाई देती है? क्या रेलवे में आप कुछ प्लानिंग है इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की? इफ यस तो कहाँ किस तरह से? इफ यू कैन जस्ट लेट अस नो.
श्योर. नहीं, ये बहुत ही इंकरेजिंग ट्रेंड है कि जो हम देख रहे हैं, चाहे रेलवेज हो, चाहे एयरपोर्ट्स हो, चाहे अलग अलग प्रकार की जो इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, उसमें जो इंगेजमेंट और ओनरशिप दिखाई दे रहा है फॉर सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ. I think that is critical for us to meet our net zero goals. It's not a choice. So you can have MNRE, Ministry of Power, New and Renewable Energy. They can do what they have to do for policy making, etc. But it has to be adopted by different ministries and different sectors. And I think that's what we are seeing. And that not only interestingly applies to sustainability and renewable energy. So all of these initiatives by the railways, by the aviation ministries, for green fuel eventually is going to be a big thing, for which we are looking at green hydrogen. So all of these are going to build on the goals we need to meet and shift from, I would say, from black to green. So these are all important contributors, and they cannot be done in silos, and I'm glad to see that it is being integrated across, I would say, ministries, from the national level to the sub-national level, from corporates to individuals. It's all coming together and moving in the right direction. So these are good directional moves.
आपने ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन की बात करी, मैं भी वही क्वेश्चन पूछना चाह रही थी कि अगर विदेशों की बात की जाए तो वहां पर अब ट्रेन्स भी चलने लग गई हैं ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन से. अगर इंडिया स्पेसिफिकली इकोसिस्टम की बात की जाए तो अभी हम कितना दूर हैं इससे? अगर हम बसेस की बात करें, ट्रेन्स की बात करें, तो अभी कितनी दूरी है इसको अचीव करने में? आपको लगता है कि अभी टाइम लगेगा?
टाइम लगेगा, और टाइम लगने में कोई बुरी बात नहीं है, अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही जिसको कहते हैं स्केलेबल एरियाज हैं. अब जैसे हमने देखा विंड देखा, सेक्टर देखा, उसका एवोल्यूशन देखा. इट टेक्स टाइम. You provide incentives, there are problems, you solve for it. So I think deliberate moves determined moves, and our ability to be able to solve as we go along is important. And I want to say that in our country, our government has been very supportive. They have had the listening sessions with the sector to ensure that whatever is required, they do their best to deliver. And not only in India, I think even globally, India has been a real role model with respect to policy making. And I think if I could say also for entrepreneurship as well. So the world is looking at us for innovating in this area. So ये सब जो है green hydrogen अभी थोड़ा green hydrogen mission आया है. We have a partnership, joint venture partnership with L&T and IOC for India. We are doing work. We are all doing research together to identify solutions for the problems. अब electrolyzers के cost down नीचे आने चाहिए, तभी ये viable होगा. And scale हो पाएगा at a level we need to scale. Cost of equipment which is being sourced domestically, उसके ऊपर जो कुछ ड्यूटीज हैं और टैक्सेस हैं, अगर उसके थोड़ा सा उसको रैशनलाइज करे तो उससे फायदा होगा. इट विल मेक अस कम्पिटिटिव ग्लोबली इन द यूरोपियन मार्केट्स एज वेल. सो ये सब होगा. Government is listening, we are stating, so we are moving in the right direction. But of course, it's a hugely powerful area where there is a lot of demand, but we need to rationalize costs for it to be able to scale at a level. I think the world is looking at it. We are all committed to it. I think governments are committed. I think industry is committed. And I would say off-takers are committed to using green hydrogen, whether it's transportation or various other areas. So it's going to be big.
Last question मेरा ये, क्योंकि अब तक जितनी हमारी बातचीत हुई है उससे मैं ये अंदाजा लगा रही हूँ कि you seem to be like pretty much satisfied with the government policies. But जब हम लोग full budget देखेंगे जुलाई में, तो क्या कुछ रिफॉर्म्स या फिर कुछ ऐसे एरियाज जहां पर यू वांट कि सरकार इस पर फोकस करे कि ये सेक्टर और ज्यादा इमर्ज होकर आए? सो व्हाट आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग नाउ फ्रॉम द फाइनल बजट, full budget?
Sure. No, I absolutely. This was, as I said, directionally it's good. As I mentioned, some, I would say, tax-related reforms for the green hydrogen, maybe for battery, etc. I would have liked to see some changes there. Hopefully, maybe we'll be hopeful that we find it in July. The other area where I feel a lot needs to be done for renewable energy and energy transition-related financing is capital innovation. How can we use capital in a way which is innovative, and also can we also provide real incentives for funds which are being raised? As of now, I don't think there's enough. One example would be that for global bonds, there is a 10% withholding tax. Can we remove that for green bonds? Okay. If you were to ask me one thing, I'd be happy to see that. I think that's going to provide for a lot of, I would say, capital requirements which the sector needs to meet the growths. 500 gigawatts as per target, or 50 gigawatts a year. These small steps would be very, very helpful. So look forward to that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. आपने हमारे लिए वक्त निकाला. बातचीत काफी अच्छी रही और हम उम्मीद करेंगे कि जब जुलाई में फुल बजट आएगा तब एक बार फिर से हम ये देखेंगे कि जो रिफॉर्म्स आप सजेस्ट कर रही हैं उस पर सरकार कितना फोकस करती है. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you very much.